My name is Nick Gentile. I'm an ordained Christian minister who lives in Rochester, New York. In March of 2016, I discovered Marvin Lewis Guy's story after finding a Change.org petition that was created to raise awareness about Marvin's case, with the hope of helping to set him free. In light of what I read in the petition, and from some other sources about Marvin's situation, I decided, as a video producer, to create a video with the same intent in mind as the petition. That was to raise as much awareness as possible in order to galvanize as much of the public as possible to take whatever action possible with the hope, Lord willing, that Marvin will be freed from jail, prison, and most importantly, saved from the death penalty. Instead of going into detail about Marvin's case now, I've included a link to the video I created, so check that out. I've also included links to articles about Marvin's situation. Now, months after I made the video, I connected with Marvin and we've since communicated several times by letter and a handful of times over the phone. However, over the last several months, even though we've exchanged some letters since we last spoke with one another, we haven't been able to connect over the phone for quite some time. The only way we can speak is if Marvin calls me. So the only way that I'll know ahead of time that Marvin is going to call is if he sends me a letter, and in the letter tells me what day and time he's planning on calling. However, the Bell County Jail in Bell County, Texas, where Marvin is jailed and awaiting trial, has messed with his mail for months, as you'll hear in the following audio recording featuring Marvin, and therefore I haven't received a letter from him over the last 5 months. So when he's called, I've missed the calls because I didn't know he was going to call. By the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ, I've been able to make several online deposits into Marvin's account over the last 6 to 8 months so he could purchase calling cards in order to be able to call me. I hadn't heard from him, even though I had sent multiple letters to him to let him know that I was still just as passionate as ever about fighting for his freedom. Unbeknownst to me, Marvin had received every letter I sent him, but hadn't called me because there was necessary legal research he felt he had to do before he attempted to reconnect with me over the phone. During that time, he'd save that money I sent him so he could purchase those calling cards, so that he and I could talk, which I would record in order to give Marvin a platform to get his story out to the world. Finally, last Saturday, June 16th, he unexpectedly called me, we spoke, and I recorded what Marvin said. So without further ado, here's what was said.
Okay, Marvin, you speak from the heart, say everything that you want to say, because it's recording.
Yeah. Okay, yes. And so, as I was saying to you, I'm having basically problems right now, basically getting my lawyers to file the necessary motions in my case. It's been a period of 3 years now, and they never filed the motion to challenge the search warrant in my case. What I've learned is that this search warrant that was issued was invalid. The first one that they had to come to my house, because it never alleged in the affidavit that any criminal activity took place. Neither the CI or the officers, there were 3 different officers investigating, and neither one of the officers alleged that any criminal activity took place in my house nor my vehicle, the 2 places that the search warrant was issued. And I found out under the Constitution of Texas and the United States Constitution that will be an unreasonable search and seizure. And so what it looks like has happened is after they get this raid, they're supplementing, what's in the affidavit, and that's illegal. And so, so I requested that my lawyers file these motions, and they refuse to do that, And so that's really why it's been so long, and because we have no really positive, productive relationship, and some even say that these lawyers don't even know how to file the motions correctly. And so I'm just getting the ineffective system of counsel. And so, it's very hard. And so I had to study everything that was going on before I put the information out. And so it's just, it's tough, man, you know. And Dave, you can look at all the evidence in this case, and you can basically see that a lot of things have been like tampered with in my paperwork. And, you know, my lawyer, he's basically denying me the right to use my discovery to defend myself, you know. And so that's another issue that I'm having because, you know, you have to have these hearings to protect your due process. And I've read case law to case law where, you know, you have attorneys representing clients and giving false representation. And he's continuing to pursue an unavailable defense for me. My attorney, Carlos Garcia, he wants to pursue an issue of self-defense. And under the penal code, that's an unavailable defense. And I've requested that he pursue the defense of necessity and say that my actions were based on a split-second decision without knowing, you know, that it was police officers that I was defending myself against and that I was protecting my family for what I believe to be apparent danger, you know. And so, I mean, and he refused to, you know, want to go in, and it's been like 3 years, and he's continually came to me pursuing this self-defense theory. You understand? And so it's hard, man. It's just no communication. And so, yeah. And,
okay, so
other than that, man,
so Marvin, so when they came, they did a no-knock raid, and they did not announce themselves, correct? They didn't identify themselves.
Yes. No, they didn't.
The police
And,
were, the police were talking about, right?
Yes, one of the officers actually says in a DVD that when they hit the door the first time, they did not announce themselves, right? But I'm concerned if that evidence would ever get in because there's a lot of rules of evidence that go along with your cases. So a lot of times you don't know they make these rulings in back rooms without you knowing. And so if you go in court, and I don't really know because my lawyer refused to tell me what evidence is going to be in and what evidence is going to be out. And so this officer said himself that they did not announce. So, you know, it's a question to that, yes. And they did not announce. A lot of the officers say they heard, and a lot of officers said they didn't. But the two people that was in the house, me and Shirley Winnington, in our interviews, we both told them that, listen, we didn't hear nothing, you know. And so, you know, these raids are designed to shock the conscience, and they're designed to catch you off guard. You know, it's 5:45 in the morning, and this is a time that everybody is presumed to be asleep. And, you know, she sleeps lighter than me, and I got, like, sleep apnea. I sleep very hard. And so, you know, I didn't hear nothing, man. You know, the first thing I heard was my window being violently broken out, and I immediately feared for what I believe to be a threat on my life and the safety of my family, you know. And so, you know, and so the issue is this type of violent attack on civilized people. And basically, they raided a place that I had a privacy expectation to privacy, you know, because no one ever said that any criminal activity was taking place in the place that they issued a warrant. And that's a violation of my constitutional right under the Fourth Amendment and under the Constitution of Texas, Article 1, Section 9, which is unreasonable search, you know?
Right.
But I have to have the attorneys put forth these motions in the court, and they're not. They've took me to court. They've took me to court so many times, but they're going around the issues of my case. He's filed maybe 5 or 6 motions to compel, and he's filed motions to test the evidence in the case, but he's never attacked the real issues in my case, and that is the affidavit, the truthfulness of the affidavit, and he never even challenged the search warrant for the affidavit. So I'm asking him, man, what are you doing? You've been on my case over 3 years. How come you haven't, tackled these real issues, And so because, the appeal court have ruled constantly that you can't just bust into a person's house, if there's never no criminal activity there, But you got to understand the legal things that they do before you go to trial. If you don't know, these lawyers, they just violate your due process right, and they won't, tell you this or they won't tell you that. And, when you go in there, and so now I'm at the point where I'm really requesting to represent myself, And so I'm basically trying to get more information out to people because I need help, man.
Right.
Because basically what happened is, to sum it up, and this is what happened. Basically, what they did, they came to my house with what I believe they had no warrant, and it's going around, that they didn't have a warrant. And if they did have a warrant, like they say, it would be deemed invalid because they gave no specifics of criminal activity that I did in the 4 corners of the affidavit. But
this is also a very important point to highlight, is that you lived in a pretty violent area, right? A high crime area. And you even told me that prior to them doing this to you, that there was someone who broke into a woman's house and raped her or sexually assaulted her in your area. And so you had a valid reason to believe, because the police did not identify themselves, that this was someone who was intending on doing you and your girlfriend harm. You thought it was just some random burglar or someone in to assault you, to rob you, to hurt you in some way. Of course, you had no way of knowing it was the police because they did not identify themselves. So to me, that's the crux of the case. It comes down to that, is that they didn't identify themselves. You didn't know who this was. This could have been anyone under the sun. And so them not identifying themselves. And again, we have that prior case, the precedent that was set in the Henry McGee case. Right? The white gentleman in another part of Texas about 80 miles away, where they did a no-knock raid. They did not identify themselves. A police officer got shot in the foray and killed, and yet he got off. And he ended up going to prison anyways for drug-related crimes. But that's the point. Your situation and his parallel each other in many ways, but you're facing the death penalty and he got off. And so this is a corrupt situation through and through. And so, no, you talk, brother. I'm sorry. I just wanted to put that in there.
Yeah. Well, see, what the thing is, and see, what a lot of people don't know about that is see, they would never know about the appeals courts or the Supreme Court would never know about Henry McGee's case because it got dismissed at the grand jury stage, right? And he had a fair grand jury hearing where I didn't. So what happened is he had an all-white grand jury where his girlfriend and him had a chance to testify. I had an all-white grand jury, but my lawyer, Michael White, told me before I had the grand jury that he's not going to do nothing to help defend my case. And so therefore, they never used the investigating function of the grand jury on my case, and therefore, since my lawyer wasn't properly representing me at the time of my grand jury hearing, they only had all police officers testified, and the biggest thing was at the grand jury hearing, I was supposed to have been able to say that, hey, my lady and I were supposed to have been called, and we were supposed to be able to tell them, just like Henry V, that we didn't know it was the police, in order for them to be able to judge a true bill me or not. You know what I'm saying? It's called true bill or no bill. Henry McGee got no bill. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, I couldn't even use his case to be like, hey, look at this right here, because he got off. You know what I'm saying? And his situation was exactly like mine. But even, what I believe even more in my situation, between his situation and my situation, I believe my situation is much more built on this police department, corruption, the FBI failing to thoroughly investigate the case, and and the district attorney's office failing to turn over all evidence in my case that will exonerate me. And so, like you say, and like I always have believed, yes, it's a corrupt situation, and it's very suspicious. You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, man, it's hard, man. It's hard to have to live your life, man, to feel like, you've been robbed of your liberty. And, like I was finna say before you said that, is that here's what I believe. I believe that these officers came to my house without a warrant because the supervisor, Jonathan Reinhardt, had threatened me 3 years prior to this, and basically told me that he would come after me one day. And this somehow was the same supervisor that caused this raid on my house. But he claims that he got information from another police in another town named Mosley, and Mosley was the one who did the investigation and then ended up obtaining a warrant, and and so somehow in some way they were talking about that Mosley, and he got the warrant, and he called them clean and asked them to execute the warrant. And so, it's just something so suspicious because me and him had prior contact, and he threatened me, and I believe anytime a police threaten you, you need to report it,
Right.
And so, it's bad, man. It's bad, and
you have 1 minute left.
And I'm going to make sure I call you right back. But,
Okay.
yeah, I'm glad you're recording, man, because a lot of times, it's not enough information.
Right.
The truthful information. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write you. I wrote you a couple letters, but they're stopping my mail from coming. But I'm going to write you, and I'm going to give you the laws and the facts. And then I want you to put that on the internet for me. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I'm just going to...
I'm going to... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm going to send you everything, all the information that I got, all the case law that I got, and, I need to have this stuff start being put up on the internet, man, so it can get recognition. And I like I said, it took me a while because I had to get everything so I can really explain it. And so, because a lot of times if I can't explain it like this, we got a lot of time, man, because you sent me $40, so you sent me $10 for a time, and I was like saving it up so that when I get all the information, I'll be able to talk to you and stuff, right, and give it to you all at once. But I also want to point out to you, and I've always pointed out to you that my lawyers are still giving me what you call false representation, because they lied to me about my right to have a firearm too.
Right.
And I wrote my parole officer, right? And he said, man, listen, what you talking about? He said, this case that you were now there on was a 1989 case, and they keep trying to tell me that I had a 5-year provision. He said, no, you were down there under a case under the old law, and you didn't violate no firearms right by having a firearm in your home. He said that law came out in 94, he said. He said, your case is in like 89, right? And so he basically told me, he said, man, listen, they're lying to you. So what's happening, man, is really bad, man. It's really an attack on the Constitution, man. You know, these lawyers, man, everything they tell me is a lie, man.
Yes.
I mean, I always go back and I point the law out to him. It's just like, you know, I'm not, you know, a fool. I can read and write and understand the English language, and then the law is not that hard to understand. You know, it's just the way that you apply it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But when I have these attorneys attacking me for things that they're lying to me about, or they haven't fully investigated, you know, and then they have me put false information out, because when I talked to the guy from the New York Times, I gave him that bad information because they gave it to me. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And then I had to go back. Man. Everything, I go back and investigate myself. And then they get upset with me because I do that. You know, they get upset with you when you study and you learn the law. You know, and that's crazy, man. You know, so, I mean, it's to the point, man, where we're just, and then they just had put some people from UT, Texas University, University of Texas on my case, and they're not lawyers, they're like appeal lawyers, like, and you know, they came on the case and they always trying to use these methods to woo me and smooth me out, and to try to take my mind off what's going on, right? And so I told them, I said, listen, man, you know, you guys are not gonna, you know, do these little tactics against me and think that I'm just gonna not fight. I said, I'm fighting for my justice because I know I'm innocent in this case. And so, you know, and it's tough, man. You know, it's tough.
And I know that you had a jury scheduled to begin, at least the jury or the trial scheduled to begin in January with the jury selection, and then they canceled that. I saw that. And how many times have they done that to you? You had a jury or a trial scheduled, and then they canceled it or postponed it.
Well, it's been like, man, the first one was March of 2015 is supposed to start. But, you know, we hadn't had all the evidence. The DA is starting to turn over all the evidence in my case. And so we had a trial set for March 8th, and this is when I had my other attorneys, Russell Hunt, Michelle Teagill, and Michael White. And they had shortened all the DVDs to a minute and under without me even giving the chance to see them. And so they filed for a continuance. Russ and Michelle Teagill, they filed for a continuance because they said they needed more time to go over the evidence. And then the next time it was set for, I think it was May 2016. And they filed for another continuance. And then it was set for September. Then my lawyers got off the case. My first lawyers got off the case because his wife got sick, and plus he told me that they didn't have a warrant to come in my house. And so he just basically didn't want to be on the case. And then I got Carlos guy in September of 2016. And so, like I said, he's been filing these motions, and the DA been turning over evidence lately here. So they're not turning over all the evidence in my case. And so, this DA keep pushing for a trial when he's showing bad faith and not turning over the evidence in the case. And I don't think he'll never turn over the evidence in the case, you know, because it exonerates me.
Right.
You know?
Right. And so they're basically scapegoating you because of what their mess up resulted in the death of that officer. And so they have to put this on you. They have to have a patsy, and you're the patsy. And so you're not being given a fair shake. That's essentially what it comes down to. And the fact that you're a black man, that plays a significant role in this. And the fact that you're poor.
Yes.
So you have all these different factors. You have the socioeconomic, you have the color or the racial component. Even though I believe in one race, but you have the color component, and then you have the fact that they messed up, and because of their screw up, because of them breaking the law, one of their brothers in blue was killed. And so, yeah.
Right. And then they even said in the report, right, the police officer saying, one of the police investigators, he said, there's something suspicious about this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, the FBI don't want to come forward with their evidence, you know, and it's just like, and then, you know, the area where all the situation took place was like around the corner, and even the officer himself are saying that the officer was in a place where he couldn't have been shot by me. You know,
right,
and they by front door, and I wish I could have sent that. They would have sent you that. Those other people would have sent you all of that information that I asked them to, man, and that I sent to them over the thing. I don't understand why they didn't send that to you, man.
You know what? And I asked them for it, and they never got in touch with me. They never responded to me, so they were never in it to really help you. I think they were looking for publicity or for attention themselves. They were never serious about really helping you experience freedom or to get free, and so it's a corrupt situation. Yeah.
Yeah, because they got mad. Right? When I bought you aboard, and I don't see no reason for them to get mad about that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that was crazy, man. That was crazy. And because basically, I just believed at the time that you would be more willing to put the information out than they were. You know what I mean? And that's why I know that you knew how to take the information and to put it out in the correct form. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I was like, wow, I don't know. And so now I've got information, but I'm scared to send it out because I think that they'll trap it off. And I had this one guy, he just left, and he was out of Louisiana, and I sent him all of my stuff, and he was 20 years old, and I'm thinking he's going to leave and then put it on the internet, and I gave him everything where my lawyers were saying that they were afraid to fight my case because they'll be run out of town, and I sent all this information where I filed various complaints against these lawyers for their conduct, and I sent the Henry McGee case and my case with him, and I sent all of my statement, and see, they haven't even attacked my statement because my statement was coerced. When the law put the gun in my mouth, that you can't use any statement that I made or any statement that I made, and that's a violation. That's like a hate crime. Anytime a police puts a gun in your mouth and tell you he's going to kill you and call you all kinds of niggers and stick his fingers up your ass and ask you where the dope is, nigger, that's fucking, that's bad. He did that to me, man.
Definitely hate crime.
They don't know that he also stuck his finger up my ass and asked me where the dope was at, nigger. See, they didn't put all that in there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they put in all the other stuff that he put a gun in my mouth and all of that, man. I mean, man, if that story gets out, the way it should, people, man, around the world want to know what happened, man. And then,
Yeah, what I want to say real quick is, to me, that is the most significant piece of evidence that demonstrates or validates that you were innocent, because once you realized it was the police, you surrendered. You didn't fight with them. You didn't shoot at them. Once you realized this was the police that were doing this, You surrendered, and yet they abused you, they assaulted you, committed battery. Yeah.
And actually, the police said in the report that I was very respectful.
Right.
You know, the police he actually says in the report that he was very respectful during the arrest, but look what happened to me. And my old lady got her ribs broke.
Right.
She got her shitting pissed all over herself, and they took her down for nothing because they came to my house. It even says that it was a crossfire situation. These officers failed to file policy and protocol. They did not come in a raid vehicle. They got rolled up for, they got several of them got rolled up, you know what I'm saying, for violating company policy protocol. They took guns to their house, you know what I'm saying? I mean, man, they did everything illegal. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, and then you can look. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I just want to get this in before the time runs out. I know you say there's a lot, but there's so much to be said.
No, don't worry. No, I'm going to call you back because I got another like 7 minutes after this call. You know, we get 47 minutes to call.
Well, praise God. That's awesome.
Hello?
Yes. So what I was saying is you don't have to worry. I'm going to get this recording out to the world, and then if you're able to send me all of that information, I'm going to get out all as fast as possible. And I wanted to tell you that I discovered this guy. His name's Lee Merritt. He's a black civil rights attorney. He's from the West Coast. He's from South Central Los Angeles, I believe. And then he went to Temple University Law. He had an office there, but he's down in Texas. And he deals with the type of case that you're in. I don't know if he'll take your case, but I've already drafted a letter that I'm going to send to him. But even better than that, I'm going to send him this audio file, and I'm going to basically beg him to look into your situation to help you. Because, I mean, if I was an attorney, I would be defending you right now, but I'm not. And I don't know the law to the degree that I need to be able to defend you. But this man, he's a brilliant guy. He's gotten a lot of notoriety, so people know who he is. So if he'll take up your case in a pro bono fashion, right, and champion your cause, I believe that you will receive justice by the grace of God. That's what I believe. So.
Yeah, because not only that, man, you know, I filed a civil rights lawsuit, right? And my attorney somehow signed my certified mail and stopped my mail from getting to where it goes. So I already have a lawsuit, and the only reason it was dismissed because I failed to serve, but it was dismissed as untimely, so I still have a right to pursue it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was dismissed without prejudice, and it just said that I didn't timely serve the people, but I got a proof why I didn't do that, and so I'm going to try to file a complaint with the Postal Service, United States Postal Service, and send this evidence to them once I get somebody like Lee Merritt on my case. But they trying to dirty up his name down here.
Yeah, they are.
They trying to dirty his name up. Yeah, but like I said, you know, tell him that this will be a case where he will find that they did not have a warrant. He will find through his investigations that a lot of things went bad, man, you know, here. And so, you know, I really would appreciate it if he would do that. So get in contact with me here at the Bell County Jail. I will put him on my visitor list. And, you know, just, you know, I need his help because I'm truly innocent of the shooting of this officer.
Right.
And basically let them know that they tampered with all the evidence, and they got my attorneys working with them. And so, you know, I would urge him not to contact my attorneys, Carlos Garcia or Anthony White, Anthony Smith, because they're conspiring with the government and the courts on my case, and I would like to directly for him to contact me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's the
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, that's the plan. I was going to have him contact you directly. I was going to give him your information so he could send you a letter. Should he do it that way? Send you a letter? Is that the only way that he can get in touch with you?
it don't make a difference, man. You can tell him to, he can do it that way, or he can, send your phone, give you a phone number where he can contact me at. I can contact him and I'll call him.
Okay.
It's however you want to do it.
Okay.
There's several ways that
Right.
we can get in contact, but we need to get this ball rolling
Right.
and start getting this information out because, I don't even have a court date,
Right.
Because I'm fighting, man. And so, I mean, it's a lot of information that my lawyer knows that they got, but I just don't trust him, man,
Right.
Anytime somebody lies to me, man, about facts and circumstances of my case, I cannot trust that person. Anytime a person is trying to take you to trial on an unavailable defense, I can't trust that person. You know what I mean?
Right.
He is trying to set me up. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to have to defend myself. And I mean, because I refuse to by the grace of God, I refuse to let another man send me to the penitentiary because he has a biased opinion, because his race, I believe he's racist,
Yeah.
And so, hey, so it's tough, man, but it's a fight, man. So, like I said, I've got a lot of more information that I'm just so happy to get in contact with you, too.
Yeah.
Just a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. But I know that you sent me, we got a lot of more time because we got 3 more whole calling cards that we got to go through. So you don't have to worry about me getting back and, not contacting you. But the only thing it was, I had to study and find out exactly what it was because when I told you something, I wanted you to be able to fact check it.
Right. Absolutely.
And I wanted to be able to see the information. Also, case law that backs it up, and I'm going to be seeing some case law, and that you can get on the it's called a law library. They got a test master, legal research, test master legal research that I'll be using, right? And it has a lot of case law on there, and it just basically tell you the defenses that you can use and what you can't use and how to attack your case. And so, like I said, man, they're not attacking my case in a proper manner where it gives me a chance to have a best defense. And even if I'm convicted, I'll be exonerated by the appeal courts, because there was no probable cause for them to come in my house. You just can't say, hey, go in Memphis Dick to your house because somebody says that police said he seen him standing in the parking lot and cars pulling up to him and walking up to him. People pull up to me and walk up to me all the time. I was the old man in the neighborhood. I bought the kids ice cream and I gave them these kids sandwiches. I fed people and all that.
You have 1 minute left.
They told me I'm gonna call you back too after this.
Yes.
We have another 7, 8 minutes, so I'm gonna call you right back. And so I feel good, brother, man. I pray God, man. I've been really praying, man.
Yeah, same here, and I'm happy we connected, man, because I want to get this information out. I wanted you to know I'm still on your side. I'm gonna fight until you get out.
Oh yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that. I knew that. I never doubted that. It's just the fact that I had to do a lot of research, ministry. I had to dig down in and find out what was going on, and just challenge these attorneys to do the right thing. So it's a fight, man.
It is.
Trying to get these attorneys to do the right thing, and when and they work with a conflict with their own interests, and they can't. It's tough that they're getting money from the taxpayers, and they're taking that money and they're exploiting it, and they're. Yeah, Nick. So, one call is like 47 minutes. So we do 20, 20, and then 7. So what I want you to do is to get you some questions together. And like I said, I'm going to put this information in the mail. Have you received a letter from me lately?
Not in a while. Not in a while.
See,
They've been withholding
they're
the mail.
stopping my mail.
Yeah.
They're stopping my mail. I wrote you several letters, and they're stopping my mail from reaching people because this is the only outlet that I got now. You know, I'm going to try to send you some mail. I'm going to send it out Monday. And you let me know. I'm going to call you next Sunday.
Okay.
Next Saturday.
Okay, sounds
I'm going
good.
to call you next Saturday. So be looking for my phone call. And also, you know, you can have other questions, but I'm going to write you Monday. And when I call you Saturday, let me know if you got my letter because my family said they haven't been, they send me letters I haven't been getting. They really fucked up, man. And you know, it's one officer down here that's talking about how bad they fucked up this DA is. I'm going to send you a copy of his letter, too. You know, a copy of what they saying about the DA and stuff like that. It just shows that, you know, how he's you know, fucking up, man, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, man, I'm you know, I'm not, excuse my language, but I'm happy to have got in touch with you, man, you know?
Yeah.
But like I said, you know, your question is, the bottom line is they just resetting because my lawyer, I think he has the information, but I think he's just colluding with them.
Well, I want to say this. I want to say this real quick, brother, so I can get this in. On the Facebook page that was created for you called Justice for Marvin Guy, someone posted that they got in touch with. They were able to connect with the receptionist at Carlos Garcia's office when they asked about your case. She knew nothing about your case at all. And you know, obviously that's a case of, it just shows he doesn't give a damn, that this is a corrupt situation, that they're a part of the system, and they're railroading you.
Right. This was going on, I think. They trying to make it seem like I switched lawyers or something like that, and they might, man, it's so much corrupt. Oh, is that right, man?
Yep.
Man, make sure you put that in there, man.
Yeah.
Make sure you let people know that too, man. You know, because you know, he's corrupt, man. He's corrupt, man. He's been doing a lot of corrupt stuff to me, man. You know, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they changed lawyers or not, or if they just got him as a puppet lawyer, and you know, something's going on, man. Oh, is that right, man? I didn't know that.
Yeah, someone posted that. Someone posted that on the Facebook page that was created to champion your cause for freedom, and I was like, well, it's not a surprise to me. I already know they're railroading you. That's obvious, but that's just good to know. That's just makes it even more obvious. You know, this is more evidence that this man is not serious about getting you freedom or getting you justice. So, so with the short time we have left, brother, what do you want to say to those that are going to hear this? What else do you want to say?
I want to say, man, I want to say, man, to all the people out there that, you know, I'm innocent, and I also want to say that, man, you know, I really would like for all the people, man, to come together, man, and we need to get this investigated for not only me, for this officer's family. He was a good officer, and they have turned their back on him and basically gunned him down in front of my house and basically just said, you know, walked away from him, you know. And, I mean, this officer, I know him. You know, I don't have any personal issues with anybody that will make me want to do anything like this. And I just need the people's support for not only myself, but also for this officer's family and truth, you know, and justice and real justice and not this social justice that's being passed out, you know, by these elected officials down here and these corrupt public defenders and this corrupt district attorney's office. And so I like to say once again, thank for all the people that supporting me. But we need to come together and get stronger support to get this message of injustice out. And I would like to pray and thank everybody and thank God for giving me a minister Gentile for giving me a platform to be able to express my case, and it's by the blessings and grace of God that this is happening. I believe, and I can just feel the magnetism, the grace through the phone, and I just thank you guys, and I thank you too, Minister, for just being there and doing the Lord's work, man, for justice. I thank you for that.
And brother, what can people do to help you? What action can they take to help you? Specific action.
Well, man, what I think they can do, man, is people can mobilize and come together as one. And we have a lot of people that's doing something here, there. What I think is people come together as a whole and a collective and bring all the resources and their thought together, then it'll be more productive. We don't need people you got somebody over here. We need all the voices to come together. We need all the voices to come together from injustice. That's what I think.
Right.
And we need to get it together. And we need to get it together like that, because divided, the word's not going to get out. But I'll call you next Saturday, man, and everybody should come together as one, and we're stronger to push the word of truth and justice.
That's right.
And so you stay strong. And I'll call you next Saturday, man.
I look forward to it.
Please take care of that. And
Absolutely.
I'm going to write a letter right now to you. And I'm glad you got some of the information. And I'll have more information for you that I hope to send you. And I have more information that I will, call you and discuss. And so you can pick any amount of words or questions that you might have for our next interview, too. And thank you very much. Oh, and look for Cornell X.